Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming to our pitch event. Today we celebrate number 40. So this is a great number. We are very happy to be able to be here today for the fourth time and bring so many founders. We've been almost already 200 founders, and this makes our life extremely exciting. As today, we have another 4 founders plus our investor guest. Unfortunately, Simon Kelly is not with us today. Maybe he will join us later or next time, as we always go live on Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. UK time. And also now we launch our pitch event for Asia and Impact for Africa. So let's start with our investor guest. Kate Gillard, CEO at Upper Stage Capital. How's it going, Kate?
Great. Thanks, Max. Great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. If you want to give a short intro to yourself.
Sure. Well, I've done venture capital since 2000, 2001. Before that, although I began my career in investment banking, I was making more money as an entrepreneur within a couple of years of graduating university. So I spent most of the 1990s as a serial entrepreneur in software and media. I was then headhunted by Mitsubishi Corporation to start up and run their Canadian venture capital activities, which came to be focused on clean tech. In the wake of the dot-com collapse. I then became president of BASF Venture Capital America, BASF being the world's largest chemical company, opened up their Silicon Valley office and ran all of their direct and fund investments for North America, including an investment into Pangea Ventures Fund 2, which I helped them fundraise. They offered me a partnership. I moved back to Canada and raised and ran Pangea Fund 3 and Fund 4. Along the way, I co-founded and am still chairman of Foresight, which is Canada's largest clean tech accelerator center. We've had over 1,000 client companies through our programs. In 2020, I helped a friend to refocus and then sell his company to Lenovo. Discovered we really work very well together. I was getting very excited about the opportunities in the lower middle market. And so we formed Upper Stage Capital. We bought our first platform company a year and a half ago. We're doing sustainability-focused buyout in the lower middle market.
Thank you so much, Kate. So much experience and knowledge. I mean, our funders will be so pleased today. Jasmine, I think you are the first one. Thank you so much. How's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. Jasmine Wicks-Stephens, founder of Faace, England, United Kingdom, beauty, pre-seed round 600, 800K in pounds. So, Jasmine, please, if you want to give an introduction to yourself and after try to convince Kate.
Okay, great. Yeah, so my name is Jasmine. I've worked in the beauty industry for nearly 20 years, helping other brands tell their stories and enter different markets. And so when I decided that I wanted to create something meaningful for myself, i.e. Faace, I'd just become a new mum. And when some nights, sort of brushing my teeth, even got bumped off the list due to sheer exhaustion, I realised what was out there and what I was doing previously in my routine just wasn't speaking to me as a time-poor, tired mum. So fast forward 3 years, and we've got Faace. So also, just to go back to the start a little bit more, when we first launched, it was very much research driven. So we were looking into not just my experiences as a new mum, but also what was out there. And I worked in an all-female office, and we were period obsessed with how it impacted our skin, how our periods were in sync. But when we went out there to actually try and find something to directly pacify the problems, we couldn't find anything. We also looked into what was doing well within the beauty industry, and unsurprisingly, skincare came up, also sheet masks. And we were really shocked to discover that actually 1 million sheet masks were getting thrown away every single day. So we wanted to be able to provide beauty lovers with a more sustainable alternative, which is how Faace originally came about. So our award-winning products are already getting a huge amount of traction. Just last month, we got featured on This Morning. And to generally give you a bit of an overview, so we're stocked in major retailers from Harrods, Selfridges to Look Fantastic. We've won multiple awards in top tier titles like Cosmo, Elle, Telegraph, Woman and Home. We've been featured by literally thousands of press and influencers across the world, and we're growing a really good and engaged community across our newsletter and our social media channels. Our products always get really good reviews, are rated excellent on Trustpilot. And in terms of our numbers, we've done around 430K to date, selling 40,000 units, previously raising 445,000. So what are we doing differently as a brand? So instead of focusing on concern, so oily, dry skin, we focus on life moments, things like your period, your menopause, your stress. So we're giving consumers a different, new, fresh, alternative way to shop that actually speaks to them in the language that they're using in real life, i.e. I've got a tired face, I need something to slap on, leave on, so I can just crack on. All of our products are super effective, fast, easy to use, and also targeting kind of new and upcoming areas like the period market and the menopause market. Plus, we're made in the UK, vegan, natural and organic, everything's ethically sourced. We work with a lab that specialises in ethical and sustainable beauty, and as well as housing our products in recycled materials and products being recyclable, we're also massively into giving back, which is why when you buy one of our products, we donate a packet of sanitary products to somebody else via a social enterprise called Hey Girls, and we also donate to the menopause charity for your purchases. So every single product is packed full of scientifically proven active ingredients to give your skin exactly what it needs at that time. So whether, if you're on your period, you might be finding that you're getting spots, but you've got dry skin patches, you've got redness, and you just want to grab that one thing. We've also worked with an aromatherapist, so everything's got a really nice sensorial aspect, and actually kind of you can feel those benefits as well as the efficacious sort of benefits to your skin. So in terms of our demographic, at the moment, our kind of core demographic is between 25 and 34, but also menopause phase is one of our best-selling products. It means that in terms of the total addressable market, there is a big pool of people available to us, from the global skincare market being 183 billion through to the menopause market being 22 billion. In terms of how we stand out from the competition, of course, skincare and beauty is a very cluttered space, but we are giving our customers a new way to shop, something that's simple but also prescriptive at the same time. People these days don't necessarily have the time or the budget to go and see a dermatologist, but they do want something that's actually going to be targeted and efficacious on their skin, and we're giving that. It's affordable, but it's also super chic looking, and we're driven by purpose as well. So, for anyone that wants to feel like they're doing some good with their purchases, then we provide them with a good solution to do that. Like I said before, we've been featured everywhere in the press and with influencers, and here's some more info on some of our awards. I've also been recognised as one of the who's who's in natural beauty, alongside much bigger brands than us, brands like Weleda and Neal's Yard, which is obviously cool. We're stocked in amazing retailers, more kind of prestigious, higher end, like your Selfridges and your Harrods, but also mass market retailers that give us that great reach, like Look Fantastic. So in terms of what's next, we've got opportunities to launch into different markets, into different spaces. We've got new products that we've made that we just need to launch en masse. And our forecasted revenue is based on us getting some traction with some conversations that are actually live for us at the moment. The raise is EIS registered, and we're looking for between sort of 600 and 800,000 pounds on this raise. And I'm aware that I'm going to be running out of time, so of course I can share the deck and share kind of some more details afterwards. But just to summarise really quickly where we're planning to invest, we've received so much traction today. We just need to capitalise on those opportunities. For example, QVC are launching this year, so we want to be able to dig into that, our marketing, our Amazon approach, our D2C, and support those brilliant retailers that we've already got. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Kate, if you want to follow up, please.
Great. Yeah, Jasmine, fantastic. Congratulations on all the success that you have achieved there. So just doing some very simple math, it sounds like your average product brings in about £11 for you.
Yeah, it depends how we sell it, because we have sort of three routes. We have obviously our D2C, our wholesale, and our distributor route. So our general gross margin is around about 60%.
Okay, well, that was my next question. So 60% gross margin is fantastic, but retail can be very, very challenging. A lot of things are completely beyond your control, and you can have to eat large amounts of product that come back to you just because they didn't display it correctly in store. How do you deal with the risks and challenges of that?
I think at this stage we're not really in a position where we're kind of negotiating those more difficult relationships with our retailers. Now, what I mean by that is, in places like Selfridges, for example, look fantastic. They're all very cautious about the way they order. So they order regularly and monthly, but smaller quantities at each time. And we work closely with them on kind of supporting them with strong PR activity, influencer activity, etc., to help drive that sell through. So we're not necessarily running the risk of a big kind of like sale or return situation at this stage. As we get into bigger spaces like QVC, for example, you're absolutely right. We do run that risk. However, we're working with them at the moment on creating like really exciting bundles that we won't sell anywhere else. We'll just sell with them. I'll go on the show and really promote them with their presenters. And the idea really for that is to actually get sellout, create hype, hopefully then drive some people away from QVC to our own site, and actually then go on the show again and keep building that momentum. So as much as it's a sales generating opportunity, it's also a sort of brand building and awareness driver as well.
And tell me about the exit for your investors. How and when do you envision hitting cash flow break even, and what's going to drive an exit?
Yeah, good question. So we've been working on a business plan for the next 4 to 5 years. We see ourselves getting to around 25 mil in that period, with a few key partners coming through. So we're already having talks with people like Target, Space NK, Walmart in the US. So the next step would be a big opportunity there, and then looking at maybe, one big key opportunity in another market the following year, and so on. So yeah, in terms of getting to a break-even point, realistically, it's not going to be probably for about another 2 years. But we have got a really kind of robust and strategic and plausible plan that doesn't stretch ourselves too far, but equally, it does feel like that's kind of like a realistic goal for the not so distant future.
Okay, and to whom are you going to sell the company? Like, what will be the exit?
Yeah, I mean, I've already had a few conversations with businesses like Unilever just to kind of put the feelers out there to see if something like Faace would be relevant for them. Everyone's super excited about the concept. We're obviously not there in terms of the numbers at the moment, but that would be the plan, to sell to, a bigger beauty house ultimately.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Do we have time for one? Do we have time for one more question?
Absolutely. Do what you want.
So you said in your presentation it's a new way to shop, but it sounds to me like it's you're going through retail and you have efforts going to Amazon and other online things. What is it that makes that a new way to shop? It sounds like the old way.
Yeah, that's a good question. So basically, traditionally, a consumer would go and shop for a product. So when I say new way to shop, it doesn't mean literally in the spaces where you shop it, but literally by the product type. So if you have dry skin, oily skin, redness, other brands speak to you with kind of a lot of complex language. They speak to you about that skin concern, and they want you to understand your own skin type. Whereas we literally call our products tired face, period face, stressed face. So okay, I'm on my period. What happens to my skin during my period? It might be spots, it might be dry skin, whatever. Here's a product that's labeled just for that, for me at that time. So again, we sort of recognized when we first launched that getting people to switch over to a full collection is a tall order. So we're, at the moment, we're really, really amazing add-ons for people that maybe aren't going to buy the full face range. They're not going to use, the cleanser, the toner, the moisturizer, the serum. But if they've already got a range that they love, here's a brilliant add-on for when they're on their period. So it's giving a new way to shop in the way that literally it's branded for your period face, and the way it's formulated to help your skin at that time and at that life moment.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much, and congratulations on all your success today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jasmine, Kate. Jasmine, stay with us. Don't go, because we are all back. Meanwhile, what a beautiful surname. This is the last time I've seen Ferrari succeeding, but Leo told me that it's not Schumacher, it's Schuhmacher. Schuhmacher, sorry. So Leo Schuhmacher, co-founder of Future Delivery, headquartered in Germany, Hamburg, logistics and transportation, seed around €500,000. Thank you so much for coming, Leo.
Yeah, sure.
If you want
Thank
to
you.
give a better introduction to yourself, and
Oh,
that I did, and after please go straight to pitch.
I think you have done it better than myself. I'm actually not maybe the person who talks so much about himself. I would say the short answer is that I'm a development engineer for many years, and I think that's all to say about myself at the end. Yeah, so I can actually start the pitch. I'm the founder of Future Delivery, Leo Schuhmacher, one of them, and we have founded Future Delivery. So what I actually show you now is a deep tech startup. So maybe you know the courier service industry. It's a huge problem there. They had a lot of pressure with money and also with time, and all these problems are not solved in this area. And we tried so many different technology in the last decades to make fast and cheap delivery at the same time possible. But every technology failed at the end to combine these two problems. And it looked at the beginning, our drones are the solution to this problem. But every drone type has the same problem at the end. They have a limited range how far they can deliver. And that's where we come in, because with our technology, it is possible to make physical in-flight coupling between drones for exchange in a package, for example. And this allows the world first time efficient multi-modal instant deliveries from the first to the last mile. And you can do this without ground infrastructure. That's a huge change here. And it's really important to understand, we talk about individual shipments, not about bulk shipment here. So that's really important to understand, because when you want to deliver something really fast, air is the only way how you can do it. And also when you want to make it cheap, it's also important you have to do this in the air. So that means when you want to make fast and cheap deliveries at the same time, you have to use the air the whole process. So maybe one short example here. So maybe you have outside a city, a big warehouse. You want to deliver the whole region. Now you can fly with a fixed wing drone and a package to a city center. Inside the city center, you have a multicopter and a drone in a box on a rooftop. This multicopter goes up with two drones, couple in the air, exchanging the package, and the multicopter brings the package to the customer. And after that, the drones flies back. But it's important here to understand that was only one example. There's many other areas like military and all these other sectors where you can use a technology like this. So, but on the other side, that actually means you can make regional delivery in 1 hour for 10 use possible, and national deliveries in 3 hours for 35 use. And this whole process can be completely autonomous. So what we actually do is we sell our developed coupling mechanism and helping the customer to choose the right combination of drone and customize it when it's needed. So what we see is actually when we're starting for example, here in Hamburg, we can make 1.15 million per year, and we can scale this up to Europe so that we can make up to 95 million per year here. So we started 2021 with a proof of concepts, and after that we patented this technology. We have a proof patent in Germany and a patent pending in the EU, and we showed after this technology at the ETS, and we get a huge positive feedback there. So at the moment, we're finishing the development of a prototype. We had some delays with some deliveries of the parts what we need, and our goal is to make at the end of the year the world's first autonomous coupling between a multicopter and a fixed wing drone. We will be actually the first one who will actually do this, and after that we will finish the development of the system in the next 2 years. So when we look on the competition side, there's only General Atomics and DARPA working on a similar solution, but our technology is patented. It's an add-on solution. It's lightweight. It's also easy to use and can make faster connection like the other system DARPA showed, for example. It's also patented. So that actually means there's a huge gap. So companies who would actually use this technology to make instant deliveries will destroy how courier services work at the moment, because now you can make fast and cheap deliveries at the same time possible. And that's what we see when we talk with companies and people. They really understand the problem, what we're solving them, and they really understand how big the benefits are here by using this technology. So I'm one of the founders. The second founder is Gerrit Lange. We know us for over 10 years, and we work pretty well together. When I would describe us, maybe I would say Gerrit is the brain, and I'm the one who puts everything together. And that works pretty good. So yeah, we're now on a stage that we see we have to scale our development, because we see that on one side we have to do more programming work, and it would be nice to have someone else in the team who could more experience in this sector, because we have to spend more time on this on the other side. And we also see with all the talks we have now with VCs and all of the companies, it would be nice to have someone there also with more experience and help us on this way. And on the other side, we see we're doing a deep tech startup. So that actually means I would say it's amazing how far we come alone, but we're on a stage that it's important to have a good mentor and show us the next steps, what we have to do. So that's actually us. That's what we do. And I think now it's time for question. Thank you. On time.
Perfect on time. Thank you so much. Okay,
No
I'm
problem.
not taking any time from you, please.
Well, that's great. Leo, this is very cool. I would love to see a video of what you're doing. Do you have any videos online?
And no, we show actually not publicly how it's work at the moment, because that's a good thing for us. So long no one knows how exactly it's work, we can make the development for ourselves. But we know when we talk with VCs and investors that we have to show it, and that's what we do at this moment then. But not in public, sorry.
So talk to me then about IP. Obviously, you are protecting yourself here. What's your approach to making sure people can't copy this?
So the good thing is about on one side that we have this patent, but on the other side, it's deep tech. So the patent will maybe help you to understand how the technology works, but to make it possible and make all this connection, and there's so many steps in this process what you have to do with this technology. That's not easy. It's not only for us. So this work what we do here actually as 2 person, it's crazy high the amount of work what we actually do. And I would say to copy that and build it for yourself, it's not an easy task. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to put everything in a patent. So
yeah, that's also true. Yeah, that's also not everything inside.
that's good. Well, talk to me then. I know that there are a lot of competitors who are also chasing after this same application. Talk to me about which ones you're worried about, if not by name, then about by technology, and how you're staying ahead of them.
Yeah. I think the good thing is really to understand we really only developing this coupling mechanism. So we see drone manufacturers not as a competition here. So we see them as some companies we want to work together with. And on the other side, at the moment, there's what I said, that's really only the big companies out there like Airbus or maybe like DARPA, this research institute, or they only working on this technology. But there we also see what they show at some points, and they're on the same as they're on the same step. And I think that's a good thing. So when we have money now, we can go over them actually. And I think that's crazy to say. I would say it's this small startup, and I can actually not believe it that this is maybe possible here, but that's the truth, I would say at the end.
Well, don't count them out. They have a lot of money.
Yeah, that's also true.
More money than you're going to be able to raise. So you have to stay ahead of them and keep being aggressive with your IP protection. Commercial introduction, and I know that you had a timeline slide in there, and I didn't read everything that was on there because we went so fast, but I think commercial introduction was still beyond what was written on the slide. Can you correct me in my understanding about when this would be commercially introduced?
Yeah, so that's the problem, I think, on cyber when you make a deep tech technology. It will take time. So when I would actually say this product will go to market, I would say realistically 5 years. So it will take. So that's only the step in the development, working with a pilot customer together and achieve all this goal. Because at the end, it's an aerospace product that takes some time to make it possible.
So your team is working very, very hard. The 500K, I can't imagine that takes you very, very far in terms of number of months of burn. How long is that 500K going to last? And what's the milestone that you're going to reach in that time before you raise money, hopefully at a higher valuation?
Yeah, so we actually plan with this money to go 2 years. And the goals what we want to achieve with this is that we finish the development of the coupling mechanism and show the first time with a pilot customer how this technology will work. So it's really only the first steps of the development was the goal for us. But the good thing is on the other side, we talk with so many different VCs and investors that we know when we achieve all the steps to make a next round is definitely possible.
Well, that's very exciting. I'm sure there are lots of people very excited about what you're doing, and I hope I get a chance to see a video of it myself.
Yeah, I hope to.
You can share with it after. Right, thank you so much, Leo, Kit, for being with us. And please stay there. We are back
Yeah.
all soon. Meanwhile, we are moving to Asma Karoobi, founder of VGANG, Lisbon, Portugal. IT services, pre-C around Euro 100K. How's
Yeah,
it going, Asma?
just 100. Hello, and thank you so much for having me. My name is Asma. I'm Iranian, and for the last 15 years, I've worked in both e-commerce industry and human rights activism. 4 years ago, unfortunately, I forced to leave my country, and it was a time I couldn't work as a human rights activist anymore because lots of difficulties happened. So I needed to find my missions in another place, and I found it in a place of increasing awareness and consciousness in people. And the best way for do that, the best way to apply that things to the people around the world is just trying to have effect on the way they are doing everyday shopping. And that's the VGANG. It's the start point of the VGANG. So VGANG by itself is a drop shipping platform. And as a drop shipping platform, like other competitors we have in the market, we are connecting the brands that are selling some products to the retailers that want to sell these products on their behalf. And the process is 100% automated. So, for example, if a retailers want to sell some brands in their websites, they need to contact the retailers. They need to get the informations manually, put it on their website, and always they need to call the suppliers, make sure they still have the product in stock. And there are lots of difficulties in terms of a delivery and refunds and all of the logistic parts. So dropshipping businesses, VGANG included, we do the everything automated. So we be creating a bridge between the stock of the suppliers and the retailers, and we are connecting these two parts together. But there is a difference between VGANG and the other platforms. The first difference, as I mentioned, is about the products we are selling. Except the other drop shipping platforms in the market, they found this very amazing opportunity to connect Chinese brands sourced by AliExpress, Alibaba, like a low quality products, very cheap products, and sell it in a mass in the Europe and US, and making a lots of benefit. But that process, that strategy actually worked. Nowadays, everywhere you can find these products. We are using this model to do the same things by ethical products, vegan, sustainable, eco-friendly, sourced by authentic suppliers locally that can help to decrease the carbon footprint as well. The other thing that makes us different from our competitors is the way we are going through that process. So we believe e-commerce is a previous era, and we are going to the s-commerce when people are buying from Instagram and TikTok. So instead of just being focused on the e-commerce, we are integrating ourselves with the social commerce, means Instagram and TikTok. VGANG by itself is an AI-powered B2B dropshipping platform. The thing we are doing is helping the suppliers to find the retailers and influencers. They are the best match to selling their products. And from the other side, retailers and influencers finding the best products for that resonate with their audiences to sell them in their social media or in their online shop. We started with a Shopify ecosystem because it was easier for us as a small startup to find both suppliers and retailers. We launched our application in July last year, and very soon we received lots of different emails and comments. Lots of people approach and they says they really like that one because before that, authentic shops, authentic online retailers couldn't use the dropshipping because the products wasn't good enough. So very soon we start getting interactions, and actually we as the co-founders and as people that just started this movement, we got super surprised because nowadays we are talking more than the 25,000 products listed on VGANG, all sourced from the North American, UK-based, EU-based ethical suppliers. More than 720 people are using these platforms, influencers and online retailers, and they are selling the products. Half of 53 of them nowadays are paid, but the good part of it is they paid annually, so it means they will be with us for the next year, which actually we are very proud of that. Every month we are facing with the number of the subscribers and the number of users are getting double times and triple times, which actually make us very more happy. And it's a reason we are thinking about we can tackle to a bigger market. The market of the dropshipping by itself worth more like $100 billion, and more than $80 billion of that one belong to the global sustainable market, which is growing super fast according to the increasing the awareness and consciousness between the peoples around the world. So our plan for the next quarters is the first round is getting a partnership with the Facebook Marketplace and start to integrating our platform with Facebook Marketplaces. Also, we are already we are already working as a partner with OpenAI. We are receiving the API and we are start developing the AI engine that help us to understand the process of the taste of the audience of influencers and retailers. So we believe we will launch the next phase of our dashboards, our platform, by the end of the October, and it's the time we are firstly push our retailers to start selling on social media. We are asking for 150K, and we already secured the 50K, but for Future Co is the accelerator based on the New York. And at the end, I want to introduce my co-founder, Elle. She's a previous journalist back in Iran, and she's actually, I think she's a copy of me. We both together working more than every day, more than 24 hours, 32 hours. And we are really committed to the idea because we believe it's the way can increase the consciousness. And we are coming from the area that is the most important things for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asma. Kate, all to you. Sometimes I'm confusing your name.
Well,
It's the
great,
problem. So many people around the world. Sometimes I just go wrong. Please.
All right. Well, Asma, it's great to see you having such success. 53 paid subscribers at this point. That's wonderful. How long did those paid people try the free version on average before they converted over to becoming a paid customer?
The first months as we launched, the first 3 months as we launched, the whole platform was for free. So after that, everyone had we have already a free plan. Like people can use the product, but they have a limitation on number of product they can import and number of checkout they have. So most of our users get onboarded for like a 1 month or 2 months. We have users they bought from the first moments. Like I can't say for the number 100% sure, but we have users, they just sign up and buy a plan and then start using because they are more settled dropshippers platform, online retailers platform. They know what they wanted. But the rest of them had a free plan for like a 1 or 2 months, and after that they convert. The good part is like most like 90% of these numbers are having an annual subscription. It means they bought and also they didn't buy the first plan, they bought the second plan, so they bought like a bigger plan of the product. And yeah, there's no end.
Well, I would just suggest it'd be very useful for you to pay attention to that. Because it will give you a clear indicator, your number of free customers signing up. You can have predictability about when and how many people will convert over to paid, which you should be able to use for fundraising.
That's true. That's actually very important. Thank you for sharing that, of course.
So let's maybe it's too early for this, but on the other side of that is churn. Our customers that try you and then drop out. What have you seen along these lines?
The churn rate actually is not so much high. As I mentioned, most of them bought annually. So the thing is, we started with Shopify, and Shopify by itself has that like a churn rate. So a lot of people are creating applications and they're going out. The number of installments of VGANG is more than 3,000, but we are just talking about people that really have shop and they really are in a business. That's 720 are these people. So the churn rate we are talking is like a less than a 10%. Even some it's still soon to say that because they are bought annually, but it's less than a 10%, and it's mostly between the people that didn't buy already.
So with the I'm sorry if I missed this, but I did. What is your ARR at this point? Your annual revenue.
Still, I mean, still is soon to say that things because we are just in a market since the July, but we can say each plan they are buying it's like a 300 euro, and we have a 40 euro users they bought 300 euros plan. So, but still, I cannot say for some things for numbers because we are here in July and we just 4 months ago we launched the paid plan.
Okay. So it's early days. Did I just do my math right? It's about 12,000 in ARR at this point.
Yes, makes sense.
Okay. All right. And that's euros. Okay. And then if you, right now, of course, early days, and you're growing fast, and crystal balls can be very unpredictable or unreliable, let's say. But look into your crystal ball for me. Tell me, where do you think you're going to be at in terms of revenue growth over the next 3 years?
I can actually use the competitors I have. So, for example, I have a Spocket and Syncy. They are the most biggest drop shipping platform around the world, and I was looking at the revenue stream they had. So, the first year for the Syncy was just reached the 300K, and the second year reached the $2 million, and then after that reached the $7 million. I don't want to say I am in the same position of them, but I want to say the competitors grow like that. So however, we are going for the influencer market, for the social commerce market and AI. So I think in a worst case scenario, we can copy it, some growth like that. Best case scenario, we probably will be even bigger than that.
Maybe you're already doing this, but if you're not, it would be very interesting to take a look and see how much they spent to get to those different
exactly
stages.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, because they've already proven that it's possible. Now you can take lessons from that and see if you can do it better. So 100 euros, you're only 2 people, but you still have to eat. 100 euros can't last very, very long. What is the runway that this buys you, and what is the major goal you're going to achieve with this 100K?
Actually, currently we have 3 developers and me and my co-founder. So I personally, I'm not receiving a salary. I personally still living with my investment. It's the same situations for my co-founder. So we are just paying to the developers, and we hire the developers from the Turkey, which means we just get the salary super low. It means in total we have a burn rate less than 2,500 per month, and it will help us to actually grow our platform super fast. So even the money we are asking, the 100K we are asking, however, if we go for 12 months, we expect that that's once we're going for the increasing the community size and also growing the platform in terms of a number of the influencers, retailers, and suppliers. Because the burn rates for the development team is not that much, even if we hire more.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. Congratulations on your success so far. I'll be very excited to see you continue grow.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Kate, stay there. Don't go. We are all back soon. And I'm moving to our last, but of course not the least, founder, Prasun Chakraborty, founder of Generation Ltd, London, United Kingdom, health tech, pre-seed around 2 million in euro. How's it going, Prasun?
It's really nice. It's great to be here, Max. And it's great to get introduced with Keith. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. So
thanks to you. And please go. If you
I am the CEO. Yeah, sure. I am the CEO and founder of Genevision Limited. I am an ex-Harvard fellow. I have a strong academic background of 15 years working on the role of mRNA vaccines in cancer and with children cancer as well. I have also worked successfully in industry. I was a leading scientist for mRNA production at small scales. I always had the mind and the passion to cure cancer. And that is why I have started working with Genevision. So what are you exactly doing at Genevision? We are developing, we are at the preclinical stage, and we are developing rapid, cost-effective and efficient personalized cancer vaccine. Personalized meaning it's really personal, it's tailored for each and every individual who was affected with cancer. Now the question is, why cancer? The reason is because it is a global burden. I mean, this is not like something which we cannot live with, and we have to live with that. And there are no such form of treatment, and the treatment are really painful, as well as the treatments they have got a lot of side effects, and there are a lot of problems associated with cancer, and it's still not resolved fully. And if you look at the people or patients who are living annually with cancer, there are like 400,000 patients who are living with cancer in UK annually. And if you look at the cost of the treatment, it's like nearly 8 billion for the NHS National Health Service in UK alone. And this is not restricted to any geography or any country particularly. It is a global problem. And as I said, this is a global need. And you can ask me why I am doing this. I am doing this of humanity, and I am doing this to cure cancer. And somebody has to step up. And if you look at the numbers, the global numbers, it's the same. There are so many different types of cancer, and there are so many people are affected. And as I said, until now, we do not have a cure for cancer. And the question is, why we? So being in academic and in industry, I realized there are no cure, or there are no proper solution for cancer. And the current solution is like, there are allogenic vaccines. So allogenic means like it's made for patients, like 50 patients, and they're generating off-the-shelf vaccines. And there are big pharmas who are working, and the clinical success rate is less than 5%. So to basically say the success rate is very less. And there are no individual cancer vaccine till date. There is inefficient screening method for identifying a vaccine for each individual. It's time consuming. It takes 12 to 15 weeks to develop and manufacture a vaccine. It's costly. It costs more than 100K on average. And they are also not delivered in a pure form. So now we thought of the solutions. What are we providing? Why we? Again, we are developing autologous cancer vaccine, which is very personalized. Again, as I say, personalized meaning tailored for each individual. Our mRNA cancer vaccines are designed for individual cancer patients, and we are the first to develop a platform for screening neoantigens, which is based on somatic mutations. And this we are doing with the University of Cambridge and Illumina, who are our partner. And with this platform, we want to treat and make a vaccine within 2 weeks' time, which is patient-specific, and it is cost-effective because it reduces the sequencing cost. Currently, for 96 patients, the sequencing cost is nearly 150K. And we are looking at a cost of 20 to 25K. So we are reducing the cost by 7-fold. And again, we got a protocol, we got a solid procedure, how we can develop a vaccine which is in a pure form. Which is pure form means without any impurities. And these are the aspects which we are leading ahead of our competitors. And if you look at the market, it's a huge market because it's nearly like the market which is currently projected of like 110 billion by 2028. With the CAGR rate of 17%. And with our competitors are like Moderna, BioNTech, Pfizer, Genosia. And again, why we stand? Because we are cost effective. We have a method of making the personalized cancer vaccine, which is cost effective. We are timely. We are ahead of times. We are planning to make the vaccine in 2 weeks' time. We got a method for efficient production of the vaccine. And also we know how to purify a vaccine and in the clean form to deliver to a patient. So what we are asking for 2 million, and we are at the preclinical stage. We are conducting preclinical trials in mouse, and then to go to the human, to the clinics in the next year. So we want to bridge this fund. So we are looking for 2 million with a runover of 3 years. And until now, we have raised 300K in equity funding. And this is our team. We got a very good partner with the University of Cambridge and Illumina, who are experts in bioinformatics and sequencing. We got a collaborator of Charles River, who are pioneer in humanized mouse model, which we are doing it for the first time. And as a conclusion, as I said, that it's a burden not only for the UK, but it's a global burden. Like you can see that trillions of money has been wasted, and it will be, and there are 20 million people who are globally who are affected with cancer, who are living with cancer. So this is a very personalized disease, and you need a personalized form of treatment, which people are dying annually. Like there are 10 million people who are dying. And like our advantage are we are patient-specific, we are timely, cost-effective, and we want to deliver a pure mRNA. At Genevision, we want to be the first to treat individual cancer patients. Thank you. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Prasan.
Thank
Keith,
you,
please.
Well, Prasan, this is very exciting.
Thank
if I think about a future with you being successful, I think we'll all be a lot happier and healthier. So I hope you're going to be very successful with this. At 20 to 25K per treatment, what sort of margin are you expecting to make?
So the thing is that we are not looking for particular. First of all, the cost, we are looking for patient, because if you see, even if we get at least 25% patient, even in UK, that is a lot. So like, even if you take like 100,000 patients, that's a lot. So then if you charge either 20K, 25K or 30K, that's different. And as I said, there are two things beyond that. One is my first thing is I am here to cure cancer and then do the business. Yes, I understand there are investors, there are people involved for the money. Fine. First mission is to cure cancer. So I had an investor who says that, can you charge 100K? I said, I can do that in 20K. The rest depends on you. So it's like that. So for my mission is to cure cancer and then to get the business running.
So I've spent my whole investment career, 23 years now, all on impact investing, mostly on the clean tech, environmental side of things, but with some health tech as well. And I would challenge the thinking on that money can be a powerful aligning tool to align people's interests with that of your central mission, which is to cure cancer. And if you can come up with your business model and your cost structure that aligns the making of money with the curing of the cancer, you're going to be able to access all the capital that you need because people will line up behind you to give you resources. They'll be moved by your mission, and they'll be able to overcome any challenges within the decision-making organization of their group in order to loosen up their purse strings. So I would just challenge you to come up with a way to align all the parties. And if everybody is, to use the metaphor of the rowboat here, if everybody is rowing in the same direction, you'll get there a lot faster than if people are all trying to go on different vectors. So I would just challenge your thinking on that. But the regulatory framework around this, it strikes me with every one of these vaccines being individualized, you're going to have an enormous number of different formulations, and maybe not one per person, per patient. There may be some repeats of people that get the same formulations, but it's an awful lot of things to go through regulatory with the existing system. So how are you going to get past the existing regulatory challenges?
Yeah, that's a very good, interesting question, because and it's a thing like which it took time for people to understand, because I have initiated talks for the clinical trials with a lot of clinical directors, organization, and government people in UK, and some have been successful in understanding how a personalized cancer vaccine works, because mostly they thought that this is a drug or this is a vaccine out of shelf, like which is made like just like a COVID vaccine. So once they understood, there are only few people when they understood, and they say, and that process is very fast. So once we are successful with the preclinical trials, getting into the clinical trials won't be difficult, because we can directly work with pilot patients. Pilot patient meaning even for 50 patients, if we can see that it's happening successfully, it's curing them. So we are ready to go, because in this thing, the FDA regulatory is on the data and on the process which we are performing. It's not, because you cannot take a FDA regulation for an individual patient. So they are looking at the whole total process and how successful we are with the pilot studies. Once they know that it's done, we are ready to do the commercial business. So that is very fast. That is very fast. We don't have to wait for FDA, I mean, at least here in UK, approval for years and after years. So that is why a year ahead, I have started the planning. I have started meeting the right people, doing the right network, getting into the right organization, so to help me. So just get into the sleep into the clinics, because I know all those things takes time, and I always want to think beyond time, not at the time, but beyond time. I want to think.
No, you're obviously a very visionary guy, and I appreciate that very much. In my experience, when people as smart as you are involved, if things fail, it's never because of the science. The science is generally good. It's terrible backwards looking structures like the regulatory framework that prevent things from coming to market in their ideal state, and compromises are sometimes reached. So I'm just
that is
concerned about
exactly
that as a key risk.
Exactly. That is why as I said, that we are in the preclinical trial, we are in the preclinical stage, we are working towards it. And as I said, that when people talk to me, even as a scientist or as a business person or innovator, I'm happy that they find me having a different mission and I work differently. So like that, when they know that I already initiated talking about clinical trials with the people, with the persons, they were at least some were surprised, some were happy because I thought of I said, of course, I always think beyond time. So before 3 years or 4 years, what the work I am going to do, I have to think before. So that otherwise it will be a rush, and I know how long it takes for an approval for these studies and how big the market is and how big other scenarios which we can't turn on live. So keeping all those in mind, I'm well prepared to take any challenges and move forward. That's for sure.
Great. Well, one last question for you.
Sure,
and this is around IP. I know that Cambridge has had a very sophisticated and progressive approach to IP with technology that's come out of there. Where does the IP reside? Is it within Genovation, or do you, or is there ownership still within academia?
No, it's completely Genovation. That's a very good question. And the reason I haven't applied for IP, because as I said that last year, before even started working, raising funds for Genovation, last year I had 3 or 4 meetings with Cambridge IP lawyers, and we decided to keep this as a trade secret. The reason is because IP takes 4 or 5 years. And I not only want to stick to UK, I want to expand globally, US, Canada, Singapore, and Asian countries later on. So every country, wherever I'll go, I have to take a patent. And that's time consuming. The good thing about keeping is a trade secret is because every time, since it will be developed for individual persons, so the screening method will be different. So that no one can copy. So that gives us an edge, that's for sure. And as you said, I already have legal contract with Illumina. I have legal contract with all my things like which I am making the reagents and the things that Genovation will be 100% responsible for using that. Because I want to make sure, as you said, that I was a scientist first, now I'm transitioning to a legal businessman. So I know how to get hold of my things. I know how others cannot use, because I know the tools which I am making are really valuable. Because I know I am competing against the bigger world, and the key players are already there. So I know the competition, I know the things which I have to do and how I have to do them. So
well, that's excellent, Abi. As an impact investor, I can't imagine a more exciting impact than saving millions and millions of lives. And so I'm going to be watching your success with a lot of excitement.
Thank you, Keith. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Prasu. Stay there. Don't go. Keith,
no,
please.
I'm here.
We're bringing all of funders right now. As we always close, we close with 30 seconds, your best elevator pitch to convince Keith and any investors watching us today. Why give you the money? Because that's the point of today. Prasu, let me start with you, please.
Yeah, so as I said, that we are the one which are only making personalized cancer vaccines. We are personal. So until now, there is Moderna, Pfizer, or BioNTech or other big pharma companies. They are not even in clinical trials with personalized cancer vaccine, or they have been successful. And the key thing is time. For a cancer patient, they don't have time. 2 weeks is a lot. And as I said to Keith, that the money will generate definitely. But the number of patients, the number of people is huge. The market is, and it's expanding. It's expanding. So we have to give us, because we are the ones who are timely, who are efficient, and we are cost effective. So it's cost effective means it saves money for the investor, as well as it generates more money for the investors too, because you have more money to generate from our business compared to others. And then it's timely, because our competitors, they take 8 to 10 weeks, and that too not personalized. But we are personalized. Personalized meaning personalized. So there is no options I can imagine of. At least I know of other companies or other competitors. Doesn't matter how big they are, because Rome was not built in a day. So if I have the right things, we'll be there. We'll be there at first.
Thank you so much, Prasu. I really wish you all the best.
Thanks, Keith.
We really need something similar. Jasmine.
Yeah, hi. So I guess I just want to say, I've got a proven track record in industry. Faace has now got proven traction in the brand. And we know that if we can get more eyeballs on the brand, it will sell. So ultimately, we just need the investment. We need the capital so we can help kind of capitalize on all the success that we've already achieved, really.
Thank you so much. All the best to you as well. Leo.
Hi. Yeah, I would actually say the smallest and shortest answer is think more about the technology. It's really a key for all the possibility in this sector and all these things what you can do with this. And when you think on the other side, what actually means 500,000 here, only the technology and all this many exit strategies what you can go with this technology. With the percentage that you get it back, it's much higher than with other products here. And I think when you see this in relation, that makes it really interesting to invest in it. And also at the end, maybe it's us as a team. I don't know. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Leo. Again, all the best. Asma, please, you close today pitch even. Do your best. Why?
No pressure. I think I don't need to talk about how the demand for sustainable and vegan products is growing, or for example, how the social commerce and AI is changing the era of the whole things we know about the technology. But I want to say investing on vegan is more than investing on a platform. It helps the small brands, the small ethical brands have a hope they can sell. So they continue producing. And from the other side, people around the world will have access to more conscious choices for their daily routines and daily shopping behaviors. And at the end, we will have a world to live. It's about joining to a mission of fighting for Earth and also to growing peace and consciousness about each small decisions we are every day making.
Thank you so much, Asma. All the best to you as well. Kate, if you want to give the last short, I don't know, recommendation, advice to all the founders, generally talking.
Okay.
Is they're only
Well,
very pre-seed, very, very early.
yeah, I will try to I'll try to encapsulate this. These are 4 very diverse and very exciting companies, and I think all 4 of you are very dynamic presenters who are passionate about what you're doing, and all of you got me excited about what you're doing. So very well done. I began my career. I spent 20 years doing hard tech, doing the deep tech, doing the hardware, doing chemistry, doing biology investing, and so I'm very familiar with the long timelines that surround that. I've also had outstanding exits in that space where I made huge multiples and very, very high IRRs. So I also know how those can pay off. However, there is no, in my opinion, and the data backs me up on this, there's no greater indicator of success than commercial traction, than sales, than customers who are actually taking you on. And Leo and Prasun, I have no doubt that you guys have really compelling science and engineering that is going to get you to those customers, but you're not there yet. And so you are in the camp of investors who are very, very comfortable at that pre-seed and seed stage, pre-commercial stage. Those investors tend to be local to you when they can diligence you without having to get on an airplane. And until the drone can come and pick them up, Leo, and take them to Hamburg, they're still going to have to get on airplanes or trains or something to get to you. So I would say that I expect that Faace and VGANG are going to have an easier time with the fundraising right now because obviously you have customers, you have some very, very credible customers. And Faace, Jasmine, the numbers that you're talking about, if you can really grow from that 430K to 5.4K, 5.4 million next year, you're going to shut up a lot of doubters, and you're going to have a lot of people begging you to take their money, not just customers, but investors as well. So I'm very excited for all of you. If this was one of those contests where I was forced to invest today, I would probably put my money into Faace because it is the closest to exit and with the easiest time of verifying what the customers think of the product. But I want to restate that I'm excited about what all four of you are doing.
Thank you so much, Kate. Present, Asma, Leo, Jasmine, and of course, Kate, thank you so much for being with us today. I really enjoyed an absolutely session, a great pitch event. I really wish you all the best. Thank you all, everyone has been watching to us today, and I'll see you again next week. We are back again on Tuesday, 5 p.m. UK time, and we have another exciting weeks with new founders. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.